don't change. I'm on my way, I'm crossing the line, 1 mile at a time till I'm home. When I'm away, it's always on my mind. There's nothing like the feeling that I find when I cross the line.
Town of Mohawk, a quiet area in upstate New York known for its farmland and extremely fertile soil. The people are not flashy or needy. They are friendly and they love their homes. I chose my home based on what I saw and where it was. I love the area, the view, the atmosphere, and the community. They don't realize that at any time, that area could be completely changed in order to expand economic development. Sure, that sounds really good, and it is good. But we need to understand the cost, and then we need to let the people make a decision on what they want, instead of the local government going and making a decision without them. The Town of Mohawk residents are going through this right now. Fulton County sits above Montgomery County, while Johnstown sits above the Town of Mohawk. Johnstown is in the process of annexing more than 260 acres of Town of Mohawk agricultural land into its borders and into Fulton County to build a business park with the potential of rail access leading to it.
The list of issues that this annexation is going to create, I would say are probably, most are environmental. When you're going to have noise, air, light, visual pollution, which all need to be taken into consideration. The traffic, you know, we have traffic issues right now with the trucks. This would only compound the problem that we have. And it goes against our town laws. And the people that live in the town they don't want this.
So one of the first and primary benefits of creating a business park, or creating a site in this instance for a new company, is create jobs. This area, this region, you know, again has a high unemployment rate. Looking at the last unemployment rates that just came out here last month, Montgomery County was 49th out of 55 upstate counties in terms of unemployment rate, and Fulton County was right there also. So that's certainly the biggest benefit. And so a second reason why this project's important is it will result in an increased tax base that would help stabilize property tax rates.
Hundreds of jobs are constantly being advertised at the existing parks and in the local papers, and they have been for a long time. So if that's the case, if they can't fill the jobs at the existing parks, then who's going to fill the jobs of this new annexation, this new regional business park? If it's not Montgomery County and it's not Fulton County, then who's actually benefiting from this?
Where do you get a workforce to fill that many jobs? Now, supposedly there are jobs with higher paying jobs. They're not going to be distribution center jobs, warehouse jobs. They claim they're going to be 40 to 50,000 a year jobs that'll be in there. But where do you find those kinds of people?
It will, you know, it'll be a permanent. It'll destroy this land, and it'll be a permanent destruction. It's not going to be a temporary thing here, you know.
There's been a 20% decline in farmland over the past 65 years, and the population in the U.S. has doubled. This is a serious issue, and if we want to consider our future generations, we need to stop giving up our farmland for unnecessary reasons. The farmer that uses and leases this land is being kicked out for this project. There are 5 business parks right now with shovel-ready sites and vacant buildings. The Johnstown Industrial Park, the Crossroads Business Park, the Tryon Technology Park, the Florida Industrial Park, and the Glen Canal View Business Park. There's more than 600 acres of vacant, shovel-ready space in the existing business parks that the counties can't fill as it is. We need to fill the space that we have and start collecting tax revenue on all this.
I mean, if it were happening in their backyard, I don't know if they'd be for it. And I wouldn't want this in anybody's backyard, but these people, they obviously don't care, and I'm thankful that, like, they would be the typical people that would be in politics for themselves and not for the people.
I'm not for the annexation. There are a couple reasons. The biggest one is right in the county, in the town of Glen, we've got a business park that I think should be developed. It would solve a lot of the problems of traffic going through Fonda and building bypasses across the river.
I would argue that you know, the revenue sharing agreement between Fulton and Montgomery counties is a historic revenue sharing agreement. You have 2 municipalities that are looking to work together and have agreed to share revenue in an annexation process. You don't see this type of stuff happen very often. It's a 50-50 agreement.
For how long?
It's for 80 years.
And then after that?
It would be, at that point, it's a 40 years with a renewal for another 40, and then after that it would have to be renegotiated.
Okay, and at that point they could theoretically just be like, no thanks. I mean, obviously that's
they could, but
future executives.
yeah, we'll be long gone when that happens.
Gotcha. There's a Greek proverb that says, a wise man plants a tree whose shade he knows he will never sit in. We need to adapt this concept instead of letting our decisions become our future's problems. Increased tax revenue sounds great, but it makes $0 until a company moves into the space and no one seems to know what businesses are even inquiring about the property. On top of that, it is very likely that any company that moves in will get a tax break for 10 years or more, paying as low as 50%. The town of Mohawk currently does not have a revenue sharing agreement in place, and the village of Fonda isn't getting anything out of the deal either, which is not a good situation considering they're having trouble with upkeep on the roads with the existing traffic.
You know, I think we ought to listen more to the residents, especially in those areas. I mean, for me, it doesn't, not that it doesn't affect me, because it does, because I live right here, I'm here through 30 right here, and these trucks goes up and down every day, and I know they're bringing revenue and stuff into counties and et cetera, but I just think there's a lot of different options out there that we could take, and I think they ought to listen to the, you know, maybe just have a better open ear and listen to what our needs are here in these little communities.
People don't believe it, but the traffic that's come off and they're using all these little side streets, that's another thing.
Right.
That Wimple Ave is a county road, but we do have infrastructure under it, you know, water and sewer.
Right.
So that's a big thing, you guys. You know, the pounding that this road is taking. You know, we have to repair our water lines, sewer lines. It's a state road, but yeah.
Yeah.
So document that as well as document it, because you don't get this out on those country roads.
This annexation kind of skirts around the zoning, and this has always been zoned agriculture for as long, probably since the beginning of zoning in Town of Mohawk. And some people may say that that these property owners have the right to sell their land. And they're absolutely right. They have the right to sell their land, but the people that are buying the land should abide by the zoning that is currently there. This annexation, supposedly, will get around that issue. if I was to buy that property personally, I would have to abide by the what is allowed in an agricultural district. And obviously, if it gets annexed, then the city of Johnstown or the IDA up in Fulton County will not have to abide by those rules. And that is not right.
This is a double standard, where the government can go around the rules, but the people can't. And it happens every day. As a resident and member of this community, I would like my local government to ask my and other residents' opinion on the case and actually abide by it. The Town of Mohawk recently updated their comprehensive plan, stating that they wanted to keep the rural character of their town, and Executive Matt Ossenfort has just pushed that aside and done the exact opposite, because he doesn't think it will affect our town. The politicians will do what they can to highlight the positives of this deal and completely dismiss the negatives. But the truth is, this annexation is riddled with hopes and dreams, but very few guarantees. If we want to preserve the life that we sought out when we moved here, the life that is coveted by people living in busy cities and overcrowded areas, then we need to fight against this.
Sometimes people try to change things from the old ways and make life faster, but I wonder, when it's over, will their progress make it better? In some towns, things don't change. I'm on my way, I'm crossing the line, 1 mile at a time till I'm home. When I'm away, it's always on my mind. There's nothing like the feeling that I find when I cross the line.